An NHS Muslim chaplain has been filmed praising the Taliban's rule in Afghanistan. He says it's risked becoming a propaganda tool, according to experts.
Astonishing. In an interview with the Taliban's state-owned TV, Suliman Gani, an imam who works at the St George's Hospital in Tooting, said he was very impressed by the Taliban government. Yes, he actually said that.
Let's find out more from counter-terrorism expert Wasiq Wasiq. Wasiq, thank you very much indeed for joining us on Britain's Newsroom this morning. This is a shocking story that Charlie Peters has uncovered. Someone working within the NHS is doing interviews about how brilliant he thinks the Taliban is.
Well, it is indeed shocking, and I think for some of us who know the history of some of these individuals who have gone to meet with the Taliban, it's not as shocking as perhaps some of your viewers might find. Now, this is, of course, troubling because this is a person who is in a position of responsibility and apparently had gone to Afghanistan as a fact-finding mission for humanitarian purposes, but has now allegedly been praising the Taliban. And this is seriously worrying for the people that he's in care of.
Now, Wasiq, playing devil's advocate for a minute, he was on his holidays. I wouldn't choose to hang out with the Taliban on my holiday, but this gentleman clearly has. Can he do what he wants on his own ticket, or does the fact he works for the NHS override that? And this is a severe error of judgment.
Well, of course, he's entitled to take a holiday. I think if he's... But the fact is, he's claiming that he's gone there for humanitarian purposes, not on a holiday, and that seems to be worrying. And there is an issue of compatibility between what he's doing there and then his role as a chaplain. And for me, I don't think that those two things are compatible when you're praising the Taliban, who, let's just remind your viewers, have completely erased half the population. That's women and children, girls. And not only that, they've banned girls from education. And furthermore, the Sikh population, which was 300,000 in Afghanistan, has dwindled so much so that they've now in exile and had to travel to India because of the Taliban's rule. So I don't think that he's praising the Taliban is compatible with his position.
Wasiq, I don't know if you have these statistics or if there is polling on this, but how many Muslims in this country may have respect for the Taliban or be very impressed by the Taliban's rule?
Well, I think there will be certainly a fringe element of them, which would be your extremist types who are very conservative and who want a Sharia-based system. But the fact is, an online poll only last year found that the top three concerns for British Muslims are good education, a good job, and getting on the housing ladder. They don't want a Sharia-based system. They don't want Islamic law. And that's just the fact that they're still in Britain and they're not travelling to Afghanistan. They didn't travel to ISIS-held territory when ISIS called, for everyone to come over. So what the Taliban allegedly represent is something certainly the majority of British Muslims do not agree with.
And Wasiq, you may have expected this gentleman to have issued a bit of a grovelling apology for what he did, and didn't do that. Instead, he's put this frothing at the mouth letter out, which he accuses his critics of being far right. And he said, as a result of the sensationalist story, a few of his patients were denied care. He might have thought about that position before going to visit the Taliban, don't you think?
Well, exactly. I think it's ironic to blame media outlets for bringing this story to the public and then blaming them for his patients not receiving care. Maybe he should have thought about that before he travelled over there to apparently praise them instead of actually working in his position and looking after the people in his care.
And do you think it's an issue that a gentleman like this is working for the NHS, and do you think he should be removed from his post?
Well, I think that's a decision for the NHS to take. If his views of the Taliban are incompatible with with his contract and with him being able to deliver care to his patients, then I think that's a question for them to deal with and something for them to really consider.